Hello folks, welcome to Justin TV Infowars stream. We are the Infowars team live en route to Bilderberg 2011 in St. Moritz. Paul Joseph Watson with Aaron Dykes. We've just bought the local newspaper, indeed the national newspaper, our Zeitung, from the local cafe here en route, and the headline diametrically opposed to yesterday's report out of the Zeitung newspaper, which basically downplayed Bilderberg, said they had no power. We've got Bilderberger entscheiden über Nachfolger von Strauss-Kahn, and what that translates as is basically Bilderberg to decide Strauss-Kahn's successor. So they're deciding the successor for IMF at the Bilderberg 2011 conference, which once again debunks the entire notion that Bilderberg has no power and makes no decisions at conferences. We've also bought another paper which talks about the numerous attendees that are going to be at the conference this year at Lauthard and Bilderberg, and that's out of the Bonner Tagblatt, which is another big newspaper here in Switzerland. So unlike the American newspapers, the castrated corporate media, the Swiss media are intensely reporting on Bilderberg, as well they should, because as we just seen from the previous newspaper, Bilderberg deciding the next head of the IMF here at the 2011 meeting. That is bombshell news, and we'll be back later with more videos as we reach St. for the Bilderberg 2011 conference. Stay tuned.
Okay, I'm Aaron Dykes with Infowars.com, traveling with Paul Joseph Watson here in Switzerland en route to the Bilderberg meeting. And it is just interesting to note that they do cover Bilderberg here in Europe. They have for several years. And you notice when they meet in the United States, they don't cover Bilderberg. There's even coverage in Canada. And of course, we've just stumbled across really the big news that Bilderberg will be deciding the IMF successor to Strauss-Kahn, who is now facing trial in his embroiled scandal over sexual matters. You recall a couple years ago, Paul had his own sex scandal as head of the World Bank just before the Bilderberg meeting, and that they also were deciding on his successor during the Bilderberg. So they do make important decisions, and for whatever reason they're often timed well, just in time for the Bilderberg meetings. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of there and who they will choose as the new IMF successor, traditionally a European, and the World Bank traditionally an American.
We're here live at Bilderberg 2011 with veteran Bilderberg reporter Jim Tucker, and we're talking about what's on the agenda this year. Jim, I understand that from your inside sources, Bilderberg are deeply concerned about the situation in Libya. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, they want a big war in the Middle East. They want Libya to be the starting point for a big Middle East war, including the entire except for Israel, which is to be protected. But they're very disturbed because just a couple of days ago in the House there was a great opposition to the war. About 140 votes, which is a surprising gain of strength among Republicans and Democrats. The left and the right, as the political spectrum is concerned, are opposing the war. In fact, oh Lord, his name is escaping me at the moment. The fired congressman from Ohio introduced legislation to stop the war immediately, right now, in the war, quit, go home. And he got 140 votes, which is a surprising increase in the strength of the anti-war movement. This has the Bilderberg kids very upset because they're used to not much opposition from the bought and paid for Congress to any of their programs. But they big war. They want it to spill a lot of American blood in the Middle East. They're hoping that Libya will be the starting point for that war. And now there's so much opposition to the invasion of Libya. They're not even confident of getting the funding to continue the war. That's a separate peace resolution by Dennis Kucinich, the Ohio congressman whose name I was struggling. There was surprising 140 votes for just get out of the war. But funding the war is another story. You could either drastically cut the funds or eliminate the funds in the new budget. So I've said Bilderberg is nervous as a strumpet in church, afraid that they'll fail in their effort to get a big bloody war, which is, of course, war profiteering has been one of their heritages. When young men are spilling their life's blood on the battlefield, manufacturers are making big bucks, creating airplanes, trucks, tanks, and the other materials of war. So they're very concerned about the bulky Congress, thanks in great part to the Tea Party Republicans, first-term Republicans who are not flinching in the face of the controversy. They're saying, hell no, we won't go.
And we saw the newspaper headline earlier about Bilderberg choosing the successor to Strauss-Kahn for the IMF. Can you speak to that?
Yes, well, as soon as they handcuffs on that monster, he knew he'd never go to a Bilderberg meeting again. As evil as the Bilderberg kids are, and they're certainly obviously most evil, they're very prissy about having their members headlined as criminals. That's why one of their of Bilderberg in 1954, the Lockheed robbery scandal emerged, and he was not allowed to attend meetings since. Although it's been a long, tough days. His name escapes me too, but Prince Bernhard. Yes, Prince Bernhard. Good. And when George Soros was convicted of high crimes and misdemeanors, he just can't come back to Bilderberg anymore. He's still their good buddy, but he can't attend their meetings. Even when they thought their meetings were secret, they were prissy about that.
Okay.
Deal. Was that what we were looking for? The Trilateral Commission?
No, they met in that huge building.
Yeah, it was.
There's a lot of different groups meeting, and they call themselves something else. I forgot what it was.
Better.
So well identified that they sort of try to infiltrate in a way to keep themselves hidden. God knows what they'll try next year.
So we don't. So we think that. So we don't think that that was the actual Trilateral Commission.
No, that was the actual commission.
It was in there somewhere. Do you think they're morphing now? Because it seems like they're recruiting the youth now.
There was well, yeah, a lot of them getting old, and I forgot exactly what they call themselves. They took one of those big rooms, the many, many big rooms.
Anybody in there?
No, it's empty, I think. Tin.
Nobody is inside. 666 seats in this. 666.
Were you ready easy ride from London?
Yeah, well, yeah, got into Zurich and easy, went straight through.
Yeah.
No 10-hour interrogation for Aaron this time.
Nope. 2-hour flight from London. It's easy.
Yeah.
Is this your first time to a Bilderberg, or did you go to Spain?
No, it's my first time.
Yeah. First international. It's a big question mark, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Luke. So what have you been up to today then?
Just got in actually, just a couple hours ago, documenting everything that's happening here. Nothing much is happening here, but what's unusual that usually doesn't happen is that they don't lock the hotel down until the day of the conference. Now they do it the day before.
Yeah.
That's why I really wanted to get here from Barcelona. the day before to actually get in there and document everything. And as we tried to get in there, we actually got kind of pushed and shoved away by all these security guards. And then just for documenting them, they all came out with a whole bunch of police officers and demanded passports from me and my friend Matt. And then
they kept your passport for a while?
Yeah, they kept my passport for about 30 minutes. And they put it in yet another database. Probably not the only one.
Well,
and
probably in all of them.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, they were nice. They weren't that bad, but it's still crazy how here they could take your ID without you even doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I think that's for foreigners. If you're Swiss citizen, they can't do that. But if you're an immigrant or a tourist, I think they can.
I think I gave it up when I kind of ran up to them, asking if they speak English or not, asking if I could go inside. I think I kind of gave up that fact to them a little bit early. But, you know, it's raining out here, but there's a lot of people, and there's going to be a lot more people tomorrow, and it should be interesting.
So, have you seen many members arrive? Because we heard that a few already arrived.
We haven't seen nobody or anything. Me personally, I don't know if you guys seen anything. You guys seen anybody arrive here? Or, there's a lot of photographers here with photo lenses documenting on that major hill that pretty much documents the main entrance into the hotel, which is very close, just like in Chantilly, Virginia, where you could actually see the hotel and the compound and everything that's going on. They're actually setting up some weird tripod, camera, motion sensor systems right now as we're speaking, right over there on the main roof. If you walk past and you go to that white tent, you see them setting up different.
Get the cameras.
It's doing a live stream at the moment. They must live there. They must live down there to be able to get in. They're letting some people through with IDs. Figure they must live down there in the area. Got special ID passes, which the police just checked to allow them into the area. It's the Savretta Hotel. Bilderberg 2011.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.